What's love, tribe? Bye, Judah in the flesh, baby. I'm not getting to my steps yet because God wanted me to really show up and do this video real quick about fear. Now, just a disclaimer. I already know I'm about to say some shit in this video about politics, governments, and religions and stuff. So get off my neck, okay? God's telling me to say it, so I'm showing up like the soldier that I am. Judah in the flesh, baby. Thank you. Now, let's humbly get to the show. Alright, so God was putting on my heart about the spirit of fear. And God showed me, gave me an eagle-eye perspective of it all, right? Fear is a generational curse that exists in everybody's life throughout the entire world. Fear, 55 on the clock, is the one thing that everybody on this globe, even animals, have in common. It's the one thing that everybody on this earth has in common is fear. But God showed me there's two things of fear, right? You have your low vibrational fear, you have your high vibrational fear, right? So the low vibrational fear is the fear of losing your job, losing your home, losing your love, your kids, losing everything that's material, right? Not fitting in, not being accepted, not this, not that, losing, lack, fear, low vibrational, right? And then God showed me that fork in the road. You have your high vibrational fear, which is the fear of God. But when I say the fear of God, I mean you have the fear, not you fear God, but you have the fear of God in your heart, in your soul, in your being. Dig this. So when you choose God's path, when you choose the righteous way, and I'm not talking about being perfect, I mean the righteous as in the eyes of God, what God is telling you to do, because what God tells you to do always doesn't look pretty. Like, I'm the Lion of Judah, and I'm not all light. I'm light and dark. I'm duality. I'm balance. You know, I will cuss a motherfucker out. I sometimes smoke weed. I like cigars. You know, to a Christian or a Muslim person, you know, that Islamic person, they may say, oh, you ain't a real this, you ain't a real that. Well, fuck you. You ain't gonna tell me who I am. I'm telling you what I do because I'm being honest and authentic. But no matter what I do doesn't harm anybody, and what I do is, excuse me, and what I do is for me. And no matter what, it is in alignment with God. For example, like I said, sometimes I smoke weed. But there's times where God has me cycle out of it. Because God said you need to clear your mind, clear your aura, clear everything. So I go cold turkey. And it may be a month or 2 months, 3 months, whatever. 3:13 on the clock. It's a while. And then God gives me the go ahead, the green light. Okay, you can start smoking weed again. So then I'll go do that. You have to be in tune to God because God doesn't want you to be without. Everybody has a vice. Everybody has a vice. I don't care what it is. God does not want you 3:33 o'clock. God does not want you to be without. God knows that you are living a human experience. And you sometimes need to experience human things. But God doesn't want you to be dependent on it. God doesn't want you to rely on it. God wants you to be able to take control over your vices so you can cycle in and out of it and be pure when God needs you to be pure. And then, you know, be a little dirty when God needs you to be a little dirty. Because God knows that nobody, being perfect forever is pure madness. Nobody can do that. That just ends in destruction and ends to imbalance. You know, we're all essentially the Libra scale, right? Within our own lives. You have to keep yourself even. And the only way to keep yourself even is to balance your light and dark. But I'm getting off on a tangent. Let's get back to this when I'm talking about the fear of God in you. So you have this fork in the road, right? And what God tells you, you have a choice. You can choose the dark path or you can choose the light path. The light path is doing what God is asking of you. Now, that path is also fearful because sometimes, well, for me, God took away my money, took away my wife, took away my life. I mean, not my life. I'm still here. I mean, my old life. Took away the old person that I used to be. took away everything that I materially had, what I materially worked for all my life. Excuse me, y'all. God took that. He stripped that away. So it's fearful. It's scary. It only takes a strong person to be able to withstand the fear of being without housing. Because not only do you have to worry about the criticism within your own self, you saying, dang, did I hear God correctly? Dang, did I make the right choice? Dang, am I in the right place? Dang, why is nothing changing? Dang, why am I still struggling? Dang, how am I going to get food tomorrow? Dang, I need water. I got to go without water for the rest of the night. Dang, if I don't do it, it ain't going to get done. Dang, 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 dang. You're always in question of whether you're making a right decision, literally on a minute-by-minute basis. Because your hard work dictates your results when you're without housing. There's nothing, well, actually, I'll say that there is something you could get, but I'll save that. But typically, when you're starting out with the process, there's nothing that you can get without putting the work into it. And that is fearful, because not only are you dealing with your fear, not only if you dealing with the fear of not hearing God correctly, but you're also dealing with the fear of worrying about, oh dang, keeping one eye open at night because you don't want nobody to steal your stuff, or the fear of somebody coming up to you and trying to rape you, or the fear of somebody coming up to you and offering you sex for money, or the fear of somebody, trying to unalive you, or the fear of somebody jogging by talking about get a job. Well, how the fuck do you know what I've been through, sir? How do you know I didn't apply for 200 jobs already? How do you know? How do you know? You don't know my life. Why are you telling me to get a job? You think I didn't try to? I did try to. But you don't know that. And even if I did have a job, it takes time to remove yourself from these streets. You gotta save money. That means you gotta work, put money aside, get a deposit, get a first month, It's a process. So how dare you walk by somebody without housing and say, get a job? You don't know their story. You don't know their plight. You don't know the struggle. So get the fuck off their back, sir. You know who the fuck you are, sir. I digress. So you have these people judging you on the outside, thinking that they know your story. Like, oh, they must be out on the street because they a bum. Oh, they must be out on the street because they addicted to drugs. Oh, they must be out on the street because they lost it all, because they made a bad deal. Or they must be out on the street because they ain't got their college degree. Or they must be out on the street for every excuse except for because God put me out on these streets. And that's the fact of the matter, the truth, and the honest, so help me God story. I'm out on these streets because God put me out here, because God needed me to be out here, because nobody else would do it. Nobody had the courage to lose it all and to rebirth yourself into a God as you have nothing on these streets in order to earn your royalty, in order to earn your spiritual rank, in order to earn your right to be able to pop your shit once you get it all. That's the reason why God has me out here. I didn't come out on these streets as a Lion of Judah. I came out on these streets as Dawn, as Lion. I wasn't even Judah yet. I was in the process. I'm going into my 3rd year of being without housing. I don't even ask God anymore, oh, when is it over? When is it over? God, when is the time? Nah, because I feel that shit. It is here. If God got me popping this shit to y'all in these videos, trust and believe God would not put me in harm's way. Because God is about to open up that can Jack in the box. Hello. Surprise. The certified boogeyman out in this bitch. God would not put me in harm's way if God wasn't about to swiftly move me into safety. So God said it's time. So you can follow God's path and still be fearful. But that fear is going to pay off with the kingdom. That fear is going to pay off with the kingdom. That fear is going to pay off with you reaching your promised land. That, excuse me, that fear is going to pay off with you transforming yourself, your DNA, your physical body, your mind, your soul, your essence, your energy. That fear is going to translate into something that works for you because you chose to work for God. And when you work for God, God doesn't give you that lump sum immediately. God is like, you know, like when you work for a company, you got to work 90 days before you get the benefits. God was like, yeah, now put in this time, transform yourself, and when you transform it, I'll deliver my promise. And sometimes it takes a long time because there's no playbook for this. There's no blueprint for this. There is none. You have to figure it out by trial and error and figure out what works. You have to feel your way through it. And when it feels uncertain, you're like, yeah, no, that ain't the road. It's like a maze. That ain't the turn. Let me go back to this and try this way. Like you're literally, it's a stop and go. It's a very slow process trying to figure your way out of this maze. But guess what, baby? I done made it out. I done made it out. I done made it out with the blueprint. Boom. I realized that God made me go through this process to get the blueprint so everybody else behind me would never have to do this again. There's a way out of poverty. I found it. I found it. And when God puts me on my pedestal, when God puts me on my throne, boy, we about to annihilate. We about to pull the rug on poverty. Get rid of this shit good and forever. But in order for you to, 11:22 on the clock, in order for this to happen, you literally have to let go of the fear of man and have the fear of God in your heart. And when I say the fear of God, I don't mean fear of God, but you have to walk through life as if you are God and you fear nothing. Because I know for a fact, the only reason why I survived in peace so long in these streets is because I know that if anybody were to try to come up to me and unalive me or do something horribly disrespectful to me, God will stop their heart in a heartbeat, in a blink of an eye. As soon as they had the thought, God would have delivered karma to them just like that. Like, oh, okay, maybe that was a bad thought. Yes, sir. Think again and redirect that shit. Don't bring that over here. Touch not my anointed. When you have the protection of God, you are fearless. Yes, it is fearful taking that leap of faith because it's uncertain. It's called the unknown for a reason. It's darkness. It's a womb. You're literally giving birth to yourself. And all you have is the light of your heart guiding you through because you have to feel your way through it. It's not mental. It's a feeling. And the only way to be successful in that feeling is you have to heal your heart. You got to purify your heart so your heart can be your guiding light because God is love. God resides in your heart. It's called an intuition. It's called a gut feeling. God resides there. God resides there. That is the light that will get you to your promised land. That is the light that will guide you through. That is the light. God's promise resides in your heart. And when you know you reach the end of that maze, your heart is full. But your heart isn't just full. Excuse me. Your heart starts overflowing like the Ace of Cups because you filled your own heart and God helped you fill it up. And so you are full within your own being without anybody else outside of you. And that's when you start living in your purpose and it starts spilling out. And next thing you know, God turns you into a minister out in these streets and you're like, how the fuck did I even get here? And you talking people off the ledge and you talking life into this person and you talking to God about that person and God is literally everywhere in the act. I promise you, every conversation I have had, God has been through and through every single conversation. 14:14 on the clock. And those conversations have been life-changing, supernatural. Something that started so innocent turned into a life-changing, supernatural conversation because God was in the center of it. So I say all this to say, we have to let go of these generational curses of fear because it's just keeping us bound to a system that exploits us. It's keeping us bound to a system of slavery. It's keeping us bound to a government that don't love us. I know it's hard. Trust me, I know. I want the finer things in life. I want the mansions, the luxury, the cars, the yachts, the Bugattis, the this, the that, the mansions all over the world. I want the G5. I want to fly all over the globe at a whim. I want to wake up on a Sunday morning and say, I feel like going to Italy today. Hey, yo. What up, bruh? Fuel up the jet. We going to Italy to get some pizza, all right? All right, I'll see you soon. Click. I want the freedom to do whatever it is I feel led to do. I want the freedom of waking up in the morning and God putting in my heart, you need to go to Egypt today. It's time you go see the pyramids and meet your ancestors. I want that freedom. And the only way to attain that freedom with a pure heart is by doing it God's way. Because doing it man's way, you see where we are as a world. We suck. We suck. You got blood in your hands. You're oppressing lower class people. You're oppressing the middle class people. And that's why that shit is crumbling now. It's a faulty foundation. Excuse me, y'all. Civil society, Jupiter. Interesting. Message. God showed me a few things. Excuse me. One, God showed me story of Harriet Tubman. And everybody else, all the other slaves, the majority of them were fearful to leave the slave master because they were afraid that they were going to get unalived or they were going to get lashed and beaten but never truly broken. But they were fearful, you know. The slave master would beat that fear into them 1717 on the clock so they could control them, control their mind, because they're beating their bodies. And that pain is being registered in your mind. That pain is being registered in your DNA. That constant beating, that constant oppression. But you had Harriet, shout out to Harriet Tubman. I'm not going to even say rest in peace because she's very much alive today. She lives in me. Stand up. Take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home far across the river. I hear freedom calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. So we got the ancestors, Harriet Tubman, right? She couldn't take the oppression anymore. She said she would rather die than be oppressed. She would rather die than go back to that slave, that R.A.P. her. She would rather die than go back and have those people say that she can't practice her religion, that she can't sing her song, that she can't have joy and love in her heart. She'd rather die than serve a life serving a person who thinks they're God. She'd rather die than to be oppressed. And so she took a chance. It's fearful. It was fearful for her to take that chance. But she heard what God was telling her. And even though you had these two paths, right? She could either choose the fear of the slave master or choose the fear of God. She chose the fear of God because she knew that she heard God correctly. Because even though the slave master tried to beat the God out of her heart, that was the only thing that she had to hold on to. Because Harriet knew she was destined for better. 1919 on the clock. Harriet knew in her mind, she didn't know how, but she knew in her heart, body, and soul that she was not destined to be a slave forever. And so she listened to God. She followed that righteous path, that unbeaten path, the path that nobody else was successful in taking. She followed that path. She almost got caught. She didn't know where she was going. All she had to do was read the stars, follow the sun, and listen to where God said turn left or turn right. She had that GPS system activated, and I don't mean the modern day GPS. I mean God's positioning system. She allowed God to enter her body. She was a divine vessel, and God took over her body and guided her to freedom, because that was her journey. That was her purpose, to know how to get to freedom. And once she got to freedom, she said, okay, this wasn't as bad as I thought. I done ran into some angels along the way that helped me out. God done sent some true people my way who kept my secret, who didn't turn me in. I could do this again. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. And she went back, because she had to get her man. She had to go back to get her family, right? And her friends and all them. Trey and them. She had to go back. So she went back. Excuse me. She went back. And then she went back. And then she went back. And then she went back. And she went back and went back and went back and went back. Went back and went back and went back and went back. She went back so many times that she mastered the journey. She built alliances along the way, because God sent those alliances into her life, because God told her whose door to knock on. God told her who to ask for help. God told her where to sleep in the woods. God told her when to jump in the water. God told her where to cross. God told her when to sleep. God told her where to step. God told her how to think. God told her who to take. God told her who to trust. God told her. She allowed herself to be a divine vessel for God, and God told her. She had the blueprint because God gave it to her. She became the blueprints. It was scary, but she mastered it to the point where she had the government asking her for help. Excuse me, y'all. Had the government asking her for help. And then she was fighting for a war for a country that didn't even love her. God dang. But she did it with a badge of honor. Y'all, I can tell you one thing for sure. I wasn't coughing before I got on this video. Spiritual warfare is very real. But we gonna get through this message. Harriet Tubman chose the fear of God over the fear of man. 23:23 on the clock. And because she was fearless enough to choose the correct fear to follow, she inherited her legacy, which we still talk about today, hundreds of years later. Harriet Tubman is a true warrior for God. She's an angel. She's here helping me. She's an angel. She's a guardian. She's a friend. She's a mother. She's a matriarch. She's a patriot. And she said it's time. I just heard it's time to collect. She said it's time. It is time that her people get free. It is time that you free for yourself from this system. And I know it's scary. Trust me, I know. I've been through this process for almost through November would be my 3rd year. It's scary, but it's necessary. And guess what? Y'all have an advantage because I have the blueprint. I've gone through this long process so y'all's can be shorter. So it's not going to be as scary. It's not going to be as scary. God wants me to touch on the fear of religions, right? How Christianity and Islam, woo, we gonna get this message out, y'all. Oh my God, this is strong. Oh, Father God, Mother God, move this energy away from my throat chakra, because I'm going to talk no matter what. Even if I got to whisper, this message is going to get out. I promise you, on God, this message is going to get out. Remove this energy from my being. Religions. So I've been talking to many people lately. 25:55 on the clock when I was saying that. And it really just hit me how, like, you have people fearful of following their true hearts, because your true heart is your true north. Excuse me. You have people fearful of following their true hearts because they're so ingrained in a system, in a belief system that is meant to keep them imprisoned, right? Now, before y'all come for me, I'm not saying that everything in Christianity is wrong or right. I'm not saying that everything in Islam is wrong or right, the Torah, whatever religion. There's some things that are right and some things that are wrong. They couldn't put everything wrong in there, because if they put everything wrong in there, it would be unbelievable. So they had to put a lot of right in there. And then they had to put a lot of wrong in there too, to be able to capture your mind, control your mind, control your thoughts, control your habits, control your emotions. All of this is literally designed to separate us, when we're designed to come together as one. It is God's will. I don't care what religion you are, what religion you follow. You're human. And we all are breaking the same generational curses. Generational curse has no gender, has no religion, has no sex, no gender, has no color, has no creed. Generational curses run through everybody on this earth. And we are all bound by these curses until we free ourselves. Bound. We are all bound by the same things of fear until we free ourselves. And yet, because of religions, we think that we're so different. Because of who we choose to love, we think that we're so different. Y'all got it fucked up. Like, y'all really got it fucked up. When y'all are reading y'all books, right? Y'all religious doctrines. When y'all reading these things and you come across something in there that doesn't feel right in your spirit, your heart, your gut is telling you, it's giving you the stink face, like, that don't feel right. But your mind is like, you better not question God. And so you ignore your intuition. Why do you think that happens? Like, really question, why do you think that happens? Because God is love, right? God is truth, love, honesty, respect, dignity. God is all those things, but at a base level, God is love. Now, if God is love, why would that love deceive you in the Bible or the Torah or the Quran? Like, why would 29 o'clock? If God is love, why would that love deceive you? If God is love, why are they telling you to hate? Right? For example, I'm a lesbian through and through, and I love it. I love it, and God loves me. There's a purpose for me being a lesbian this lifetime. It's not by coincidence. It's a purpose. Yes, my body is a woman, but my soul is of a man. I am Jesus and Judah in one body. That is no coincidence. No coincidence. So, if God is love, but in the Bible, it's saying that it's wrong to love a woman if you're a woman. It's wrong to love a man if you're a man. It's wrong to do this and that. Da, 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 da. First of all, homosexuality derives in nature. Like, let's just get that shit clear. There are animals that are homosexuals. So if it derives in, there are plants that are homosexuals. So if that derives in nature, why would you think it's wrong to derive in man, to exist in man? If it exists in nature, why do you think it's wrong for it to exist in man? The kings and the queens of the past were homosexuals. But all of a sudden, you got this Bible telling you that it's wrong to love because of somebody's gender. But God is love, right? So how can love be wrong? God doesn't say, I only love you if you love the sex that I'm telling you to love. No, God says love. Just love. Love them like you love yourself. Just love. Because love is the highest frequency in the universe. And God is love. You want to be close to me, you have to love. God would never, ever tell you to judge a soul because of who they choose to love. Like, really think about that. When y'all flipping through these pages of your holy doctor, your holy books, really think about that. Because in the Bible, they say God is love, right? But why are you being crucified for loving who you choose to love? Huh? Because you're trying to say it's lust? What about all these heterosexuals out here pimping and pandering? That's lust. It's still lust. Does that mean they don't love? Like, it just doesn't make sense. You literally are trying to split a coin into two. It's the same damn coin. Who the fuck cares who you love as long as you're loving? Right? And it's consensual. Who cares who you choose to love? It's consensual. It's honorable. It's righteous. It is divine. It is love. It's not rooted in lust. It is love. And love is unconditional. So we have, God was showing me how these religious belief system, 3322 on the clock, keeps people in a stronghold, has people by the necks. Because they try to trick you into believing things that aren't true. 33 and 33 on the clock. They try to trick you into believing things that God never intended for you to believe anyway. They just slip that shit right in there. Boop, oh, nah, they won't notice that. You know, it's sandwiched in between truth. They won't see them lies. God would never tell a man that he is above any woman, because God made women and men in their image. That means there's a father God, and that means there's a mother God, right? Their image. We didn't come from Adam's rib. What kind of dumbass shit is that? If I find a man out here that can produce a baby from his rib, I will give you $1 million fucking dollars. Do it. Prove it. But there's women out here who give birth. So what does that mean? What does that mean to you? Women create from darkness, right? They create in the womb. They didn't even need a man's seed. God impregnated that pure womb. They didn't need a man. Think about this shit. Really think about it. It's such a contradiction. You have Adam and Eve, who they said Adam gave birth to Eve because of his rib. He gave his rib and created Eve. Voila, magic. But then you have Mary and Joseph. And Mary gave birth to Jesus because God planted his seed in Mary. Joseph ain't have shit to do with it. Joseph was just a vibrational match, a divine counterpart. So those two energies came together and created us a soul. They came together and created magic. And God planted that baby in Mary's womb. Not his sperm, his energy. God just needed a pure vessel. Two pure vessels to come together, a masculine and a feminine. You don't even have to be born a man to be a masculine. I carry masculine energy and I was born a woman. You just have to be firm. Be firm in what energy you're carrying and perfect that shit and elevate yourself to a godly level. Become that energy. Find your divine counterpart and boom, immaculate conception. So you literally have two stories in the Bible that are conflicting. Like it does not make sense. Logically, it doesn't make sense. I don't care how y'all try to paint it. Prove it. Prove it. Jesus was proven. Jesus walked on this earth. Jesus was the Son of God. That's proven. Prove that Eve came from Adam's rib. I'll wait. Actually, I won't. I'll go do God's work while y'all over here trying to prove that dumb shit. No, I won't wait. I'll wait for y'all to get tired of trying to prove a lie. That's what I'll wait for. That's what I'm trying to say. Y'all just have to really think. Really think why these things are put into place. How are they trying to cultivate your mind with these lies? A woman was not created to be a man's door, a rug. A woman was not created to only serve a man. A woman is a divine woman is an empress all on her own. A man, a divine masculine, serves the divine empress because guess what? Their energies are matching. So that empress stays at her home and takes care of home. Not to serve her man, but to serve God. She is staying at home getting divine downloads from God all day. And guess what? When her divine counterpart make love, she transfers that energy. Without even saying a word, she transfers that knowledge to her person. And then he goes out and puts the action into what that energy is telling him to do. God enters his body through his woman, through the act of them sharing spirits and making love. So he knows what to do without even thinking about it. And then when he puts his own knowing, excuse me, when he puts his own knowing into it, he puts his own messages from God into it, he finds better ways to get it done. Because he's smart, he's intelligent, he is a divine being, an intellectual divine being. She gives him the big picture and he perfects it. His job is to go get it and bring it home, to take care of her. Because she is doing her job at home, getting those divine messages, purifying herself, ascending herself. And when they come together as one energy, she brings him up with her. It's literally a sharing of it. It's infinite sharing of energy. It's a synergy of divinity. That's all it is. A woman isn't intended to stay home and just take care of the kids and be overburdened and be beaten, disrespected. No, are you fucking insane? You are putting your hands on a goddess. How dare you? You think you could put your hands on a goddess because that Bible told you that you made that goddess out of your rib? Are you dumb? You have got to be dumb if you think that. You gotta be dumb if you think that. My nose starting to itch. Spirit's like, woo, you coming through with that fire, boy. We're coming into a new age. A new age where women are no longer being beaten down. Women are starting to rise up and awaken to their own true authority. Women are intended to run this world, you know. If you think about it, men were created to serve women, not the other way around. A true empress attracts everything she needs without having to do a thing. Because everybody around her is bringing her everything she needs. She just sits on her throne and attracts it to her. A woman don't have to lift a finger unless it's to her mouth or counting her money. She don't even have to walk herself to the bathroom if she don't want to. She gonna levitate and just be placed on that throne and just like, relief. Okay, let's go back. A true divine woman is the best thing you can ever get in your life. A healed divine woman who has unlocked herself, who has let go of fear to the point where she can know and decipher the truth between the lies. She can color outside of that box and find more truth and match it with the truth that they're telling her on this earth and make her own truth and create something different and better. A true divine woman is a gift to the world, not just to her man or woman, a gift to the world, because she is the world. This world is about to be turned upside down. Upside down. God about to empty out everything that was ever taught. And y'all about to see the way that God truly intended it to be. Woman on her throne. A divine feminine on her throne. And a divine masculine there to match her. Because the truth is, she rises before him. That's why women mature before men. A divine feminine rises before anybody else does. That's why they try to suppress women so much. They don't want you to rise to your divinity. They don't want you to know that. They want you to think that you're submissive to men. They want you to think that you are that men are superior to you. No. The reason why things work so slowly in this realm is because the patriarchy is slow. Physical action is slow, but divine action is quick. Lightning speed. Faster than the speed of light and the speed of sound put together. Quick. They don't want that. They don't want women having that power, but guess what? It's done. It's too late. It's over. Finito. It's time for women. 4:44 on the clock to stand up. And step foot and take a seat on your true thrones. It's time for you to heal yourself and walk in your divinity. It's time for you to be the Harriet Tubman of your territory. Harriet is here today because she's sending out a call to action. It is time for you to bet on God, to take on that fear of God. It's time for you to choose that right fork in the road. Not the fear of man, but the fear of God. So you can become fearless and rise into your divinity. So we can get rid of these wars. We can get rid of all this lack. No, homeless is a thing that is man-made. There should be not one, with all the money circulating in this world and all the resources, there should not be one homeless person on these streets anywhere in this world. There shouldn't be one poor person anywhere in this world. Lack should not exist. Lack is man-made to oppress. God did not create us in lack, so why is it here? Pray tell. Because man made it to oppress. It is time to call back your power. It is time for you to walk hard and strong in your divinity. It is time. Because time is up. We are at the times of civil society again with Jupiter. Today's Thursday. Oh, shit. Jupiter coming through today, baby. I have never seen that van again. Before in my life until today. Woo! Jupiter, goof. Woof. Jupiter coming through with that expansion. Wow. Wow. Expand this video, Jupiter. Let this video go across the entire globe because y'all people need to hear this. Y'all need to hear it. Y'all need to exercise this healing and walk in your true divinity because it's literally time to sink or swim. Time is up. The sand has run out. It's time to flip that bitch over. God said it's my turn. God said it's my turn. It is my turn. God and Goddess are coming to sit on their motherfucking thrones and rule this shit the right way. The wrong way is getting tossed. God is ripping off that old scab that never healed because it wasn't intended to heal because they keep pumping it with antibiotics and things that kill your other cells and all this other shit and vaccines and stuff. That scab ain't never gonna heal because it wasn't intended to. It was just intended to suppress the pain, not to heal it. So God is ripping that scab off and we starting over from ground zero. 9/11, baby, because God will never forget his children. God will never forget his people. And God said that you have suffered enough. It's time for y'all to know who Goddess really is. You know, the one that y'all try to write out of history. The one that y'all try to enslave. Y'all reduced Mary Magdalene to a simple whore. Don't y'all know that Mary Magdalene was Jesus' divine counterpart? So if you apply that to what I've said during this message, that means Mary Magdalene ascended herself spiritually to get into Jesus' energy, to download things into his spirit, to create him to be the Jesus that he was intended to be, to become the leader, to lead not only his people, but to lead her. To lead her. But she had to receive those messages first. Now, why on earth would you reduce that type of divinity to a simple whore? Because you're afraid of that? Because you don't want the world to know that it's because of a woman that Jesus was able to ascend himself to the point where he was meant to be ascended to? Because you don't have to be with your divine counterpart for them to ascend you. No, you could be on two opposite ends of the world. My divine counterpart ascended me to where I am today. and God and Mother God and me. It's a collective. But God had two people on this earth that he sent energy to in order to help us grow together. Women grow faster than men. That's just a fact. A scientific fact. So she ascended Jesus to be the person that he was meant to be. And then when he got to the person that he was meant to be, don't get me wrong, he put in the work. If Jesus was even a he, let's just put that shit out there. Because we all know Jesus ain't white. I mean, you don't have hair like lamb's wool if you're white. Like, come on now. I digress. I digress. I digress. But Jesus put in the work because he had his divine counterpart praying for him, sending him prayers, sending him messages, divine messages. And he's working the process. He's going where God is directing him to go. He's going where she is telling him to go. They're working as a collective. They're working as a unit. He's receiving his own messages. She's receiving her own messages. Those messages are coming together, and they're becoming locked in because God gave them the same vision. Because they have the same heart. They are locked in. And because they are locked in, they are moving in the same direction. He put his work in. He had to even be attuned enough to even get the messages. He had to go learn here and learn there and cultivate himself. He had to build himself. Or herself. I don't know. Just saying. Just saying. Just saying. Very possible that Jesus wasn't even a man. And I say that because I'm a woman. I'm the line of Judah. And people think that Jesus was coming back as the line of Judah, which means that Jesus was going to come back as a man, but voila, magic. My body's a woman. Surprise. Just one of the things that don't make sense, right? At least not to me. But y'all, I'm not trying to be on here an hour, and it's already 52 minutes of me just channeling divine messages and sharing my divine wisdom with you. So I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to say, question everything. Question everything. Because there are lies, and there's truth. There's truth in the lies. There's lies in the truth. There's dark and light in everything. Yin and yang in everything. But when that thing's uneven and you got more lies than truth, it's destructive. But when you change it and you got more truth than lies, it's healing. And then eventually it's going to get lighter and lighter until it becomes even. Duality. And that's when you get to infinity. Infinity. It's just an ongoing cycle of transfer of energy. That's all we do every day. Learn how to decipher. Learn how to tap in. You have to learn. Because God, I kid y'all not, I've literally been living out the days of the Bible out here, just seeing biblical things happen before my eyes. And I'm like, damn, I feel like I'm in a past life right now. Like, that's how just miraculous it's been. Like, I literally felt like I was in a past life. But I was here. Which tells me that I'm literally, and we as a whole are experiencing the days of the Bible. And what happened in the Bible, huh? Noah's Ark. You see all these natural disasters going on, right? If you're not tapped into God, where you going to go for safety? If you're not tapped into God, how you going to know to build the ark? Because ain't nobody, everybody can't come with me. Only the 144 could come with me. What you going to do? What are you going to do? Because I promise you, that shit is real. That water behind me has more power than any man on this earth. That water behind me can annihilate everything standing that ever was built. That water behind me can annihilate the entire economic system and start all over again. That water behind me could rise so high for years until God tells it to recede. That water behind me can take us out. 5544, when I was saying that, can take us out. Y'all shitting on Mother Earth. Mother Earth showing y'all what she made of. Y'all disrespect Mother Earth. Y'all imprison Mother Earth. Y'all think that she weak because she's a woman, because she's a mother. She about to show you what she's made of. I just pray that y'all are prepared, because we are at the end of time and the beginning of times, all in the same token. Don't just stay prayed up, ascend up, because when the time comes, and the time is coming, you're gonna need to hear God clearly as Harriet Tubman heard God. And you're going to have to take your people with you on top of whatever mountain that God got you on, or wherever God told you to go, wherever in the earth, whatever territory that God, 56 on the clock, whatever territory that God told you to go to, you're going to have to be connected to lead your people there, or else you are all going to perish. When I tell y'all God is wiping out entire lineages by any means necessary, Malcolm X, because X marks the spot. This ain't a game, y'all. This is real life shit. Y'all have to let go of fear and let go of all this material shit if that's what's holding you down. If that's what's making you depressed at night because you can't pay them bills, fuck them bills. Fuck them bills. Do what you gotta do. Just make sure that you talk to God before you do it. Make sure you come up with a divine plan, because sometimes that plan is only the first step. But go as far as God allows you to go, and then put action behind that plan, and then God will give you the next steps. But you have to move. You have to make a choice. There's no more time of straddling the fence. You have to make a choice, or you won't survive. Fear has to go out the window and dumped into the deep blue sea. There's no more space for fear. That's why God has me speaking out now about this shit. You think this is comfortable? No. I don't want to talk about this shit. I know y'all probably gonna come for me in the comments, but guess what? Fuck you! I don't give a fuck. I'm speaking God's word, and God is behind me, around me, through me, in me, all around me, so I don't care. And what I know for sure is that anybody who tries to speak salt on my name, put dirt on my name, anybody that tries to send me spiritual warfare, I know for a fact that you receive instant karma. Even the people who trying to question my divinity, instant karma. How do I know? Because I've seen it with my own eyes. I know who I am. I know how powerful I am. I know that I have a heart of gold, and I don't take that shit to the ego, but don't fuck with me. I don't have to lift a finger. God and my ancestors got it. But they make me aware of it, so I know who to stay away from. They make me aware of it, so I know where to move to. That's it. Don't come for me. Save yourself. It's not even about me. Save yourself. Because the moment that you come for me, before that thought even goes into action, you're going to experience karma. And boy, when God brings karma onto your life because of some fuck shit you try to direct my way, that hits 100 times harder, and that shit is swift. And I mean back to back to back to back to back to back rug pulls. Touch not my anointed. That's one thing that is real in the Bible. Touch not my anointed. Don't do it to yourself. Message. Don't do it to yourself. Trust me. You ain't hurting me. You're hurting your damn self. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Mother, Father, is there anything else you wanted to say to your children before I leave this video? I just heard be aware, don't be square. I don't know what that means. 101 on the clock. Be aware, don't be square. Be aware. Take heed to this video. Be aware of what's going on in your life. Be aware of what God is telling you. Don't be square, meaning do not put yourself in that box. Do not keep yourself a prisoner in your own mind, because it's all mental. It's all mental. Get out your head and get into your heart, because this is the portion of the journey where you have to literally feel your way through it. And that's the only way you're going to survive. It's not mental. It's a feeling. You got to feel it. You got to feel it. Don't come for me. But you got to feel it. Like literally. Let your heart be your guiding light. But in order for that to be your guiding light, you need to heal it first. Healing is a must if you're going to survive this next phase. I would say the next 5 to 10 years. Because shit is going down. Be prepared. Oh, I just heard be prepared. Be prepared. That's it. On that note, it's Judah. And I'm out. Boom.